Hello tutors, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Today we have got 4 Victrix 28mm plastic Norman Infantry. I can't tell if they're at knightly status or not. Two of the 4 of them. I've got 8 to do, I just bought a sprue. A couple are in Gabissons, is it? With the quilted jackets. A couple have got, 4 have got chainmail on in total, but 2 today, and another 4 have got clothes. But really nice figures. The only thing that I've had to do to them is slightly drill around where the arms meet. I've had to like scoop out a bit of plastic with the drill. I just put a normal drill bit in the Dremel and just get some material out, just so it's not just that flat, smooth plastic. You know, where an arm will go into the chainmail and things like that. It's only a small thing, but put a bit of dark brown, black paint in there, something like that, for a bit of shadow, and at least it's got some depth to it. And that's the only thing. Because I brought a sprue, I've got one guy with a mail, which you'll see in a minute, which I'm just leaving it on. He's not that noticeable. Okay, it's noticeable now because I'm looking at it, but he's actually hasn't got a full mailed arm. I had planned to green stuff it, and I just completely forgot, to be honest with you. So it is what it is, but I don't think it detracts that much. But I believe that was because I bought a sprue, and that's the one problem when you're buying sprues sometimes. I've done this with the Warlord Epic. I've bought a sprue of light cavalry, and there's not enough to do one thing or another really. I've actually bought the infantry wouldn't be so bad. I've actually just gone and sent off yesterday for a sprue of infantry. But if I do any more of that stuff, I think I'll just get a box, because it means now I'm going to, looking up at them at the moment, I'm going to probably have to buy a couple of different sprues to make up enough to do units, because I'll just sell those on, but they look to be enjoyable. But these Victrix, getting back to the ones I want to show you today, really are nice figures. Fascia, I don't know if they do the fascias on the computer, you know, the next 3G, you know, the sculpting on computer, or whether the faces are sculpted with putty, but they've got a bit more depth to them. Alright, in this case they've got nose helms on and things like that, so you're not going to get a lot out of the faces. But I could see if you use a couple of the options where they did have a couple of options bareheaded, I decided to go all with helms on this one. But you've got a lot to play around with the face. I would say if you were doing any type of ancients that didn't, you know, anything that didn't need a face covering of some description, they're quite nice faces to paint, and I always like doing that. I found at least the ones I'm doing, this is the first time I believe that I've done Victrix. I might be wrong, but the first time I believe I've done Victrix. And I know in the early days of their Napoleonics, people were saying the plastic muskets and that snap quite easy. I don't know, I've never done any, but I've got to say these really stand up to some you know, flicking of fingers and things like that, which is good. I've done a few extra bits, which we'll see in a minute, just to tart the bases up a bit really. Bases are 30mm round. Again, I like doing that because you can just put a bit of you know, you just put them into, if you're doing round bases rather than on a square, you know, filling them up on a square base, you've just got a bit of just something to improve the bases really. So let's go down and take a look. Right, here's the 4 I've completed. I've got these 2 literally only just on the go. This guy, I think, yeah, he doesn't seem to have any leather, you know, to put a shield on. You could put a shield on him, but I am wondering whether I keep him with a shield on or not, or whether I just have him without one. But these are the ones without, obviously, chainmail. I've got 2 more to do after this. I might change the, because I'm painting the helmet there. They would paint the helmet sometimes just to keep the rust off them and be a bit more fancy, but because I've given him the white hood there, I'm thinking that might be a bit much, so might change that over. Right, these are the guys though that we can see. As I say, I really like them. I've put a couple of arrows, just some wire and a bit of plasticard. You could use anything if you've got any blister, just because it's see-through, as long as it'll take a bit of primer on, a bit of brush primer. I decided to show the rivets on the leather reinforcing, well, pins, whatever they use, but I couldn't see why. Yeah, they could corrode, so the couple of the shot, I think I've missed a couple that I'm going to have to go on, and I have decided I will just give the leather surround another highlight yet. I've painted a mythic beast on this one that I've seen off, I just put Norman kite shields in and looked at one I wanted. That is the head. I know I'm bad at painting. Honestly, I followed what the mythic beast looked like on the shield I was looking at. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, a couple of arrows in the ground just to show, you know, fought over ground, really, I suppose. It's 1 mil, I believe. Could be 2 mil. I can't remember now. 1 or 2 mil knock Scenics grass. I can't remember the code or the name of it. It's the one though that they put little bits in it, and the only problem you'll have is with the knock grass when it's like that is it's very nice, but it won't take the static charge. So I did these, just literally put them on the flat base of my static charge flop box and turned them upside down, because it'll just about manage that at this scale. You could also just clamp it and sprinkle them over, but it tends to get grass everywhere, and I mean, even now I'm going to have to give my brush off before I do a varnish on them. These haven't been varnished. They will probably dull down very slightly on the metallics, but yeah, if you're going to do the knock grass with it when it's got all the little bits in, just do a thicker coat of PVA than you normally would and sprinkle those bits. What I normally do is as you pick them up, you get the bits on them, and I sprinkle them on, and then I sprinkle then I turn it upside down and put some more grass on the plate, and then get it to suck up the grass onto here. Otherwise, you lose a lot of this nice little tiny bits, which a bit looks like clover and stuff, you know. Cork as usual for a rock. Photographs. I can't remember if I've just said this, but photographs at the end. A bit of inks on the metal work, a couple of different inks. That's that one. Here's our next guy. So about me painty fingers, I've been priming, been using that one shot ammo primer on brush for the Warlord Epic. I hope it doesn't come off the, I should say, I don't think it'll come off the figures, because it doesn't come off my hands. I put a couple of slash marks on the shields on occasionally. I've done like a Saxon type shield, or the shape of it could just as easily be almost a kite shield, but like a Saxon shield or a Viking shield, but a round one anyway. Just say that, Gav. That's just a piece of plastic card cut round, and I've made it look more in depth by just shading the areas, so it's actually a flat piece. But if you apply a couple of 3 highlights and put your dark brown to black brown watered down, you can get that shadow area. It looks a bit more like wood. Got another arrow that's thudded through it at some stage. Again, I've tinted the armour with different inks, or the mail. That's that guy. Are these Gabasons, are they? I can never remember half the names. But I've gone in there, I took a bit of time with this one just to give them a bit more depth. Show all the creases up. They've done some nice creases in these, but they need showing off with a bit of, you know, bit of extra work done to them. Give it that more padded look. Again, a couple of slash marks on these guys, giving these more plain shields. So the photographs at the end will hopefully show you a bit more in detail. Chucked a spare helmet on the ground there. Somebody's lost his helmet, probably lost his head as well. Some of these guys, I didn't want to give them all swords. I wanted to show they might not be as well off. You know, that's his main armament, is his axe, and he's got his knife, but not a sword. Faces are really nice. I do like these faces. Chucked a couple of my own tufts in there as well, just to raise it up slightly in places. And there you go. And that is me Napoleonics, me Perry cavalry had to take a back seat where I've been doing these, because I just wanted to show these some love and get these at least done. Then I'll go back. I've got 2 more Napoleonic cavalry to show you early next week. Probably won't show any more Normans now for at least a week or more, because I've got to do the other 4 and it just takes me a bit of time. I do like this guy. I'll probably do a couple of emblems on a couple more shields. I'm also practicing the emblems. I deliberately kept this one fairly muted. I didn't want it overly bright and shiny, so I've used a deck tan, I believe, and ivory on that. Not too shouting out type of thing. But yeah, really nice. I've got to say, I do like these Victrix figures. I'm thinking of getting a sprue of Vikings. I might just, when I've got some money again, I might just buy a whole bag. You know, I mean, I say, oh, 30 odd quid, you know, but I mean, you're getting, was it 60 odd figures in there, so it's not like you're not getting your money's worth. It's just the upfront cost. And as I say, these guys, I enjoy painting them, but then I've got to sell them on. You know, it's so, you know, I don't particularly want to be painting 60 on. So I might buy a box of Vikings, say, or these guys, and or a bag. I think they put them in bags now, don't they? And just, you know, do, say, 10 or whatever, 12, I don't know, and see if I can sell them on and keep the others back for a bit and then do another 10, I don't know. I was looking at some of the Greeks as well. Anybody that sees these Victrix Normans, are the Greeks up to the same, ancient Greeks, are they up to the same standard as these guys? You know, I really don't, I mean, I see them, you know, obviously I'm interested in figures, so I do keep me nose to the ground, whatever it is, but I've not got any real experience with them apart from these guys, and I really like these, but I know that they're ancients were some of the first ones they did. So are they like I saw some Athenian hoplites and some mercenaries, the usual Spartans. Are they up to the same standard as these Normans? As in, are they too fragile? Do they go together well? You know, the faces as good as these guys? Just if anybody does watch this video and they could let me know, I would appreciate it. Right, guys, thank you very much. 4, I know. It's better than 2. It could have been 2, you know. It was going to be 2 at some stage. It's better than the cavalry, just 2 at a time. So yeah, we've got the, as I say, I'll have those other Perrys. I think I'm just looking over up there. What have I got to do? I've got to do the faces and the bright work on them. Oh, and the Busbies as well. But apart from that, that's that done. They'll be that done. I'll have some Warlord Epic more than likely towards the end of the week as well. I've got an update hopefully coming on, I keep saying this, on HMS Kent. She's got a whole day and night tomorrow on her, so we should have a 1 in 350 scale update on the frigate I'm building, and I believe I've got an unboxing of some description to come as well. Look after yourselves. Thank you very, very much for stopping by and taking. Oh, I've got those 6mm as well. Yeah, the 6mm must have been painted with enamels because they weren't having any of it. I normally just throw in some IPA in a Tupperware, an old curry box or whatever, and I'll just leave them there for a couple of days, and that's normally enough to get them started, and then just a bit of rubbing, it comes off. But not in this case. I've had to go for my airbrush wash, which is what professional air sprayers use, and they sell it, recycle it, and they sell it on again as for cleaning airbrushes of all descriptions. And I buy it by the litre or whatever, and I use it for obviously cleaning my own airbrush, my modelling airbrush, but I also use it for getting paint off stuff as well. But yeah, those little 6mm, as I've been dry brushing highlights on these Warlord Epic, I've been doing that to a few of the vehicles that I've got. So, and thank you very much for all the help that you guys gave me on those 6mm. I really appreciate it, because I have got lots of recognition books and that, but it meant diving in, and it's always a way. I've collected so many books. It's actually trying to find the ones that I want, because my wife has a nasty habit of getting them all out, dusting them, which is really nice, but that they always go back in an order I have no idea in, which is more or less scattergun approach. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look at this update on the 28mm Victrix Normans, and we'll catch each other very soon on another video.